The strongest person in the room is never the loudest. It's the one who can sit in silence, unshaken, unbothered. Untouchable. Most people lose their peace because they react to everything, every insult, every opinion, every piece of drama. But here's the truth, not every emotion deserves your energy. Real power is not in clapping back, it's in staying calm when others expect you to break. It's in choosing peace when chaos surrounds you. In this video, you'll discover how to emotionally detach without becoming cold, how to protect your energy without shutting down, and how to stay calm no matter what life throws at you. Because silence isn't weakness. Silence is mastery. Let's be honest. Most people go through life reacting to everything. Someone criticizes them, boom, anger. Someone ignores them, boom, insecurity. Someone disagrees with them, boom, argument. It feels automatic, almost uncontrollable. Like the world has a remote control for your emotions. But here's the truth. Not every emotion deserves a reaction. Every emotion you feel is real. Yes, but not every emotion is accurate. And certainly not every emotion is worthy of your energy. Think about how many times you've regretted reacting too fast. You fired off a text you wish you could take back. You snapped at someone and damaged trust. You defended yourself in an argument that didn't even matter. And afterward, you didn't feel stronger. You felt drained. That's because every time you react without thinking, you hand over your power. You let the moment own you instead of you owning the moment. The illusion of urgency. Here's the trap. Your emotions make everything feel urgent. Fear says, you have to escape right now. Anger says, you must strike back immediately. Anxiety says, if you don't do something, everything will collapse. But urgency is often an illusion. The situation rarely demands an instant reaction. What it demands is clarity. And clarity only comes when you pause. That's why people who react less often appear stronger. They are not colder, they are calmer. They've learned the art of buying themselves time between the feeling and the action. Reaction versus response. There's a massive difference between reaction and response. Reaction is emotional, fast, impulsive. It comes from survival mode. Response is thoughtful, measured, intentional. It comes from wisdom. Anyone can react. It takes no skill to raise your voice, slam the door, or send the angry text, but to respond, to pause, breathe, and choose your action that takes mastery. Napoleon Hill once said that self-mastery is the first victory anyone must win. And nowhere is that more true than in the battlefield of emotions. The hidden cost of overreacting. Every reaction drains energy, every unnecessary fight. Every emotional storm, every heated argument, it all robs you of peace. You've probably felt this before, the emotional hangover. You spent hours replaying a conversation in your head, thinking of what you should have said. You lost sleep over words that were never worth your energy. This is the cost of overreacting, not just wasted energy, but stolen time. Stolen clarity, stolen opportunities. Because here's the harsh truth while you're caught up in emotional battles that don't matter. Your goals, your growth, your future are waiting. The power of detachment. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care selectively. It means you recognize that your peace is worth more than your point. It means you stop bleeding energy for things that will not matter a year from now or even a week from now. When you detach, you don't stop feeling. You simply stop letting feelings drive the car. You become the observer instead of the puppet. Imagine this. Someone insults you in public. Your first impulse is to snap back, to defend yourself. But instead, you pose. You realize, this says more about them than about me. You smile. You stay silent. You move on. Who looks stronger in that moment, you or the person desperately trying to get a rise out of you? That's the power of detachment, training the pause. But here's the challenge. Detachment is not natural. Reacting is natural. Your nervous system is wired to fire back, to protect, to defend. So how do you train yourself? By practicing the pause. The next time an emotion surges, don't immediately act. Count to 5. Take one slow breath. Ask, does this deserve my energy 9 times out of 10? The answer will be no. This simple act interrupts the autopilot of reactivity. It gives your logical brain time to engage. It creates space for a response instead of a reaction. Shifting identity. And here's the real secret. Every time you choose not to react, you're not just protecting peace, you're shaping identity. You are proving to yourself, I am not controlled by emotions. I control emotions. Each moment of restraint becomes evidence of strength. Each act of silence becomes a vote for calmness. Each time you refuse to react, you step closer to mastery. Over time, you stop being someone who tries to stay calm. You become someone who is calm. That's identity shift. And once identity shifts, behavior becomes natural. The calm in the storm. The world is loud. People will provoke you, test you, push your buttons. They thrive on reaction because reaction gives them power. But when you stay calm, you give them nothing. And that nothing is everything, because the strongest person is not the one who wins the argument. It's the one who never needed to have it in the first place. So remember this, not every emotion deserves a reaction. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every battle deserves your energy. Save your power for the things that build you, not the things that drain you. And when you do, you'll discover that emotional detachment is not weakness. It's wisdom. It's freedom. It's strength. When most people hear the word detachment, they misunderstand it. They imagine a cold person who doesn't care, who feels nothing, who avoids connection. They picture emotional detachment as shutting down your heart. But that's not true detachment. Real emotional detachment is not about caring less. It's about caring wisely. It's the difference between letting your emotions control you and you controlling how you use your emotions. The misconception of coldness. Let's clear the air. Detachment does not mean you stop loving people. It does not mean you stop feeling joy, sadness, or compassion. It does not mean you wall yourself off from the world. In fact, the people who are truly emotionally detached are often the ones who love the deepest, but with boundaries. They give without draining themselves. They care without losing themselves. Detachment is not about disconnecting from life. It's about disconnecting from chaos, observing versus absorbing. Here's the key: detachment shifts you from absorbing everything to observing everything. Most people absorb every energy around them. Someone's bad mood ruins their day. A stranger's words stick in their head for hours. One rejection crushes their confidence. Absorption is exhausting. It makes you a prisoner of the environment. Detachment changes the dynamic. Instead of absorbing, you observe. You notice the energy, but you don't take it in. You recognize the negativity, but you don't let it live inside you. It's like standing in the rain with an umbrella. The rain is still there, but it doesn't drench you anymore. Caring without attachment. Why does this matter? Because most emotional pain comes from attachment to outcomes. You want people to behave a certain way. You want situations to unfold in your favor. You expect the world to match your script. And when it doesn't, when people disappoint you, when outcomes shift, you spiral. You get angry, anxious, or resentful. But detachment says, I care, but I accept. I want, but I don't cling. I love, but I don't lose myself in the process. That's strength. That's wisdom. That's freedom. Detachment is balance. Think about it. You can love someone and still not let their dysfunction control your peace. You can want success and still accept setbacks as part of the process. You can be passionate and still remain calm when things don't go as planned. This is balance. Detachment is not indifference. It is intelligent involvement. It allows you to engage deeply with life without being broken by it. Detachment as emotional maturity. Emotional detachment is a sign of maturity. It means you've learned the hard way that not everything deserves your emotional investment. You've felt the exhaustion of caring too much about things you couldn't change. You've experienced the pain of over-explaining yourself to people who never wanted to understand. You've wasted nights replaying conversations with people who had already made their decision, and at some point, you realize this is not strength, it's self-destruction. Maturity is when you learn to let go, not of love, not of goals, not of passion, but of the need to control everything and everyone. Protecting your peace detachment is protection. It protects your mental energy. It protects your emotional space. It protects your ability to focus on what truly matters. Because here's the truth. Not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Not every situation deserves your reaction. Not every battle is worth fighting. When you detach, you filter. You choose where your energy goes. And that choice makes all the difference. Practicing detachment in daily life. So how do you practice emotional detachment? Start small. When you get a rude comment, instead of defending, breathe and let it go. When you don't get the response you hoped for, remind yourself that someone else's actions don't define your worth. When things don't go your way, choose acceptance over resistance. Detachment is built decision by decision. Every time you walk away from drama, every time you choose silence over reaction, you are training the muscle of peace, the power of silence. One of the strongest tools of detachment is silence. Not the silence of avoidance, but the silence of control. When someone tries to provoke you and you don't respond, you take their power away.